The rise of a powerhouse, China's expanding global footprint. China's economic transformation over the past few decades has been nothing short of remarkable. From a largely agrarian society, it has emerged as a global economic powerhouse boasting the world's second-largest economy. This meteoric rise has been fueled by rapid industrialization, technological advancement, and strategic integration into the global market. China's influence now extends to every corner of the world, shaping industries, driving innovation, and challenging the established economic order. However, this newfound power is not without its shadows. As China's economic might has grown, so too has its assertiveness on the world stage. This assertiveness is increasingly viewed with suspicion by other nations, particularly those who see China's ambitions as a direct challenge to their own economic and geopolitical interests. The question that now confronts the world is whether China's rise will be a force for stability and cooperation, or whether it will usher in an era of heightened competition and conflict. The answer to this question will depend in large part on China's willingness to abide by international norms and to engage with other nations in a spirit of mutual respect and understanding. The stakes are high, not just for China, but for the entire world. The choices that China makes in the years to come will have profound implications for the future of global peace and prosperity. A dragon's grip, China's military expansion, and the shadow of conflict. Parallel to its economic expansion, China has embarked on a significant military buildup, raising concerns among its neighbors and the international community. This buildup includes the modernization of its armed forces, the development of advanced weaponry, and a more assertive military posture in key strategic areas. China's growing military capabilities are seen by some as a necessary deterrent, while others view them as a destabilizing force in an already volatile world. China's military activities in the South China Sea, for example, have heightened tensions in the region. Beijing's claims to disputed islands and its construction of artificial islands have been met with resistance from neighboring countries and raised concerns about freedom of navigation. These actions have also drawn the attention of the United States, which has a vested interest in maintaining peace and stability in the region. Furthermore, China's close relationship with Russia, particularly in the context of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, has further complicated the geopolitical landscape. The no-limits partnership between Beijing and Moscow has raised concerns about a potential challenge to the existing world order and the possibility of a more fragmented international system. The world watches closely as China continues to expand its military footprint. Whether this expansion will lead to greater security or heightened tensions remains to be seen. The international community must engage with China to ensure transparency, promote dialogue, and establish clear rules of engagement to prevent miscalculations and mitigate the risks of conflict. Tibet, a case study in China's disregard for international norms. China's actions in Tibet provide a stark illustration of its approach to international norms and human rights. The 1950 invasion and subsequent occupation of Tibet have been widely condemned as a violation of international law. China's suppression of Tibetan culture, religion, and autonomy has drawn criticism from human rights organizations and governments around the world. Despite international pressure, China has shown little willingness to address concerns about its policies in Tibet. Instead, Beijing has tightened its grip on the region, cracking down on dissent and seeking to erase Tibetan identity. The situation in Tibet serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the potential consequences of China's growing power and its disregard for international norms. The plight of the Tibetan people is a reminder that China's rise is not without its victims. The international community must continue to press Beijing to respect human rights in Tibet and to engage in meaningful dialogue with Tibetan representatives to find a peaceful and lasting solution to the conflict. Ignoring the situation in Tibet will only embolden China and set a dangerous precedent for other countries seeking to exert their will on weaker neighbors. The world must stand up for the rights of the Tibetan people and hold China accountable for its actions. Navigating the future. The United States, China, and the search for global stability. The relationship between the United States and China is perhaps the most consequential bilateral relationship in the world today. The two superpowers are locked in a complex dance of cooperation and competition, with their actions having profound implications for global peace and prosperity. While there are areas of mutual interest such as climate change and pandemic prevention, the two countries are increasingly at odds over trade, security, and human rights. The United States has accused China of unfair trade practices, intellectual property theft, and cyber espionage. China, in turn, accuses the United States of seeking to contain its rise and interfere in its internal affairs. These tensions have led to a trade war, increased military competition, and a growing sense of mistrust between the two countries. The future of United States-China relations remains uncertain. Some experts believe that the two countries are headed for a new Cold War, while others see the possibility of a more stable, albeit competitive, coexistence. Managing this complex relationship will require careful diplomacy, clear communication, and a willingness to find common ground where possible. The world cannot afford a conflict between the United States and China. It is in the best interests of both countries and the world at large to find ways to cooperate on shared challenges and to manage their differences peacefully. The future of global stability may very well depend on it.